The Art of Invader Zim is a behind-the-scenes art collection for the Invader Zim series, comics, and recent movie. It's by the same author who put out art books about Steven Universe and Adventure Time. I own some art books, but I never actually read any of them yet. But of course, because this one is Zim, the show that got me interested in animation in the first place, I just had to read through it right away. I've never actually seen much behind-the-scenes material for Zim, so I was really excited to see what this book would offer. I used to listen to the Zim DVD commentaries all the time, but I never really looked at animatics or anything like that. This book is divided into 5 chapters, each about a different part of the show's history and visual development. There's even a foreword by Rebecca Sugar, which is really sweet. It's well known that she grew up a fan of this series, and a lot of the personal stuff she shares here in this intro is very heartwarming. Talks about why it's so nice and important to find a show that you can connect with. The book is riddled with interviews with the show's crew, but the standout aspect really is the art, obviously. It's amazing what they were able to dig up for this. I was so surprised to see production materials from the series pilot. Like, they still have that stuff lying around somewhere? The print quality of this book is great. Everything pops out, even the thin pencil line drawings. There's lots of discussion about how the series was tough to animate actually. Zim uses more shots than typical cartoon shows, and the style was so distinct that the crew had to be really strict and specific about the proper ways everything should look. There's cool guides in here to show the do's and don'ts of the show's art style. There are a few sketches and storyboards from unfinished episodes of the series, but I was kinda expecting there to be some more. Maybe this is literally all they had done, but none of it is really all that exciting, and some of it is stuff that's already been shared. I sort of found the interviews in the book to be just kind of okay too. They're funny and there's some nice niche information, but there is a lot of details that I feel like I've already heard in previous places. I would have liked really more specific talks about like episodes and stuff, not really just kind of general information. There's one section of the book that contains screenshots, quotes, and summaries from every episode in the series, and I just found that weird. Like, obviously if you're a fan reading this book, you're already aware of all the episodes. There's not any behind the scenes art or new information in this part of the book, so I don't really see why it was a necessary inclusion. They should have just highlighted a few specific episodes and talked about their production history and show some art, rather than just summarize a bunch of them. There aren't many details about the comic book series or Enter the Forpus either. I was expecting Forpus especially to get a lot of cool new facts, but both of these topics are saved for the very end of the book. I would rather see stuff about the original show anyways, and that's obviously what gets the most focus in the book anyways, but the information about the show's evolution seemed unbalanced. I just feel like I read through the sections for the comic and Forpus really quickly, though there is still some good stuff in there. I love the discussion from the art director for Enter the Forpus. She talks about how the goal of the movie's visual style was to make Zim look the way we thought it did. Because, like, when you're watching Zim for the first time, especially as a kid like I did, it seems so starkly different from any other show. But when you look back at it now and you compare it to more recent works of animation and, you know, things that are even just in HD and stuff, Zim looks pretty bad. Like, it is great, it's still very distinct, but it's just not really all the way there like it's trying to be. I think it's mainly the animation quality and the color scheme of the original show. They don't hold up too well. So the goal of Enter the Forpus was to make Zim look the way it should have, and it totally succeeded in that. They use stronger colors and outlines and backgrounds, more expressive and more different types of animation. Enter the Forpus's art style is like leagues better than the original show if you look at them back to back. There's also a really cool section at the beginning of the book with a Nickelodeon executive talking about why they wanted Jonan to pitch a kid show, even though Jonan's artwork is typically adult-oriented. This is the kind of thing that people bring up all the time when they talk about Invader Zim, like, oh my god, that guy made a thing about a serial killer, then he made a kid show, that's so quirky, but they have really good, like, explanations here why they thought it'd be a good idea. And, like, even Jonan thought it was a good idea. It's not like he went into this deliberately trying to make something kiddie. He went in making something that he thought would be funny. Making something that he knew he, as a kid, would enjoy. And that's part of what makes the series so good. That's something you hear a lot when you look at behind the scenes stuff for shows like this. The crew's always trying to make stuff that they think is funny, not really focusing on what they expect to be funny. So if you're a Zim fan, or an animation fan at all, you should go and check this book out. Don't go in expecting too many eye-opening interviews, but definitely expect to see some amazing artwork and pieces of production history. It's a joy to read and a joy to look at. I'm really glad something like this got made. Animation production takes a lot of effort, and people don't really realize that. It's awesome to see that effort highlighted for one of my favorite shows, even when it's a show that's almost 20 years old. It really got me wanting to go read the other art books I have, and if you think I should talk about them, let me know. Thanks for watching, and super special thanks to my Patreon supporters. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to know when I post a new video. Be sure to stay tuned for more new videos and live streams. Follow me on Twitter and TikTok to get frequent updates and video clips. And consider supporting me on Patreon for just $2 a month to get some behind the scenes content, like scripts and review notes, and even early videos. Once we get about 20 Patreon supporters, I'll start a Discord server for us to chat.